Happy day to all my pals. Chomp chomp. This is Happy Down for 1,000 coming to you with another episode of American Review Anime Batch 2.0 Maximum Friendship, this time episode 3. I'm reviewing the first 7 episodes of Sailor Moon Crystal. This thing starts out with Sailor Moon and Usagi just being a typical kid, typical teenager, or not really middle schooler, so I guess this tweenager. I don't know her exact age in this thing. But essentially, she's just late for class, bad grades, it's hanging out with some friends. Basically, dreams of becoming a superhero. Hero likes this one, and superhero that's basically referencing the series itself. And the hero herself is called Sailor V. And I'm going to touch back on her because there actually is an interesting thing, a surprise from her. But anyway, Luna comes over to Usagi and basically says, I give you the name Sailor Moon and these powers. Alright, now go be a superhero with them. Like you dream. You know, like basically, Usagi is like scared at first, but she wants to basically save her friend whose mom's been turned into a monster along with only to find out that her friend's mom was not a monster all along. Just the monster took her place. He's tied her up. And she basically fights her way through a bunch of monsters, basically killing a lot of them almost with her screaming. Because she's basically still new at this. She's not very courageous, but she is more or less rated. And then we finally get the first appearance of the boomerang in Tiara. Alright, and then we meet Sailor Mercury. Her friend, basically she meets this one girl. Usagi meets this friend. It's a new friend of hers named Amy in episode 2, who becomes Sailor Mercury. Basically intelligent, but socially distant is mainly what I describe her character as. And she gets brainwashed and later rescues Usagi. After Usagi gets basically captured, who are trying to rescue her. Then becomes Sailor Mercury. Then we get Sailor Mars. Or so, I think her name. Basically, I can't remember how to pronounce it, but basically her name is spelled R-E-I-E. Sure, R-E-I. Sorry. Yeah, I forget it wrong the first time. But anyway, basically, she's kind of aware of supernatural forces. She's able to detect them. And basically just kind of, at first, it just shrugs off Usagi and her team. But later gets involved to help them. Pretty much after she gets captured by the bad guys. And basically once again, Usagi against Sailor Mercury are sort of captive again. And much like her, she basically gets one of the Sailor Moon pens, and as the Luna gives them. And sort of becomes very competently powerful for more than usual, but she does more or less stand up to the bad guy without using the regular Sailor Moon power, which I thought was kind of nice. She more or less just kind of uses a regular thing. Then she's more qualified after getting the Sailor Moon pen, which I'm like, that makes sense. I guess it's sort of like giving a guy with a sword or a freaking laser sword. He's kind of got a more believability to be qualified with it, or she in this case. But anyway, then we get one thing very funny and interesting in coming throughout this thing. We get a dance episode with Usagi again, or other Sailor Moon, or other Sailor pals. Well, it's basically just kind of going to a ball, all in hopes of finding this one MacGuffin throughout the series about the heroes, or that are sailors. And also the bad guys looking for, and also Sailor Moon's love interest in the series, so far at least Tuxedo Mask. Basically, we later find out why he's looking for it, or a few episodes later. But anyway, basically, I like one thing about this is like when a lot of time when I watched when I was forced to watch girls cartoons, like I wasn't like held to a chair or whatever. I mean, I just caught some in the background, like a waiting room or some shit like that. Basically, in the West, they often have the guy characters be incompetent, annoying, or useless. Those are douchebags. This guy actually tries to help out the best he can. He basically says the following words: "I have no powers, but I still will try to help you." In some cases, he says he offers emotional support and actually tries to fight hand to hand with the bad guys in the seventh episode. But I'm jumping ahead of myself. Basically, they think the silver crystal is at this one ball, so they go over there only to find and it wasn't there the whole time. And then we meet Sailor Neptune. In which she's more or less seems a bit brash, actually a bit crude, but she is more or less just willing to help others. And basically her character in this episode is this: she falls in love with this guy at the arcade. Like basically one thing at least the one thing I can criticize about the series. These computers I remember looking more or less modern, yet if they're still arcades and basically rental stores or for movies, but not VHS, though it's DVD. What is this world? Oh, but essentially, she gets her heart broken at first when she basically gets this one. Basically, the bad guys are using sort of soul vampire esque as one over here mannequins to basically steal people's souls and life energy and give them to their leader. And basically, they get Sailor Neptune's not Neptune. Sorry, she has Sailor Neptune's. Okay. They get Sailor Neptune's love interest in this thing. The guy runs the arcade. And to basically try to steal her life energy from her, and she basically wakes up from it. I mean, she's like, I can't believe if I fell for the lie of love. And Sailor Moon was like, no, we love you. I believe in love. Of that whole type of spiel shit. If it sounds great, to a 12-year-old probably. Basically, there's someone out there for you. Never everyone. But anyway, she more or less uses that inspiration. She becomes Sailor Neptune. Neptune finally only battling the bad guy. Who basically holds a grudge. Or sure, I got the grudge part against this one Sailor. They're for Sailor Mars. Or yeah, basically he's kind of just shocked by like the second, or not second, by like third Sailor. You learn what is basically pissed off, wants to get revenge on her. But anyway, then we cut over to learn more about how Tuxedo Mask's backstory. He basically wants the silver crystal in order to find out more about himself, of believing it to be a key to his missing memories. And basically in episode 7, we get the entire town brainwashed looking for Sailor Moon when the bad guy shows up, and once again, like I mentioned, Tuxedo Mask tries to battle the bad guys head on, but useless. So still, at least he tried. Though a combination team up of Luna and the hero Sailor V from that she's basically told about out in the beginning of the first episode comes over to save the day. Anyway, with that cliffhanger. Overall, the series was not bad. I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece. I've seen much worse. The animation's alright. It pretty good overall. Very very nice. Not flawless. Well, it's not a masterpiece or anything. It's serviceable. serviceable. It's good. And overall, I'd say this cartoon is not, the anime is not a bad one. I give it dinosaur approval because I found it for the most part. Though I more or less think this thing is best done watched in small doses, just because it gets kind of monotonous. But still, I give this thing, unlike Usagi's studies, I give it a passing grade of a 7.6 out of 10. That's my review. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a very happy day. And hopefully I've caught your attention to watch all the way through with this video. And chomp chomp. See you later. And bye-bye. See you.